Alright, I guess I got done. I got done with my errands just now. So what I'd like to say is that I'm back at the same spot where my truck was. I'm fixing to go take a nap right now, man. I've been all over the place. So I just went to Wells Fargo and closed my account. Plus I even got my refund from that what do you call it, progressive order. Yeah, he said you went put that thing up against this and pop some air into it so the lip can seal and I can put air in it. So right now, he said he got a lot of shit to do, like how he said it. It's not my way of phrasing it. I'm just telling you what he said. He got some lady's truck. Hold up a second. There's an asshole I don't want. There's an asshole somewhere I don't want to see me. I better hide. They got some nasty bitch up in this damn yard. I don't want to see him. Everybody's been complaining about him. My mechanic, he went up and said something to him, and then he started giving him some kind of racial phrase like him being Ukrainian. So we both kind of took pictures on license tag just in case if he tried anything funny. Hold up a second. Nah, I don't think it's him. Yeah, they got a badass up in this yard. I got a whole mess with them. They got one up in there. Sorry about that. I apologize. We got enemies in this truck terminal as well. So yeah, we sure do. Anyways, like I was saying, he got other stuff doing, so he over there working on this lady's truck, right? So he says she got to go out this evening. Plus, he got another truck to work on a whole, So he said when he's done doing what he's doing, then he'll call me. Not only that, I got a seatbelt issue with that Kenworth truck I was just driving, and the blower, I don't know, the air is too weak coming out the vent. And when I try to turn it on heat, it's fading away. Not on this one, not on mine. My workstation, the Kenworth. It's got like 2 or 3 defects on it. So anyway, I'm gonna go back into this one. I'm taking a nap in my truck this time. I'm gonna just heat up some food in the other one. That's it. Hey, you know something? Since I started messing around with a touchpad, the keypad on the APU, it comes on by itself now. I know it did that once, and I try to put it on manual or off mode. So I notice when I go out on the road and go to Indiana and so back and forth for like 3-4 days, when I come back I hear it running. I did turn it off before I left. I turned it off like twice. So now I come back, it comes on by itself. It's like I don't know how to shut it off. Keep it off. Them carrier ones are different from what those Kenworths have. But anyways, I guess what this is telling me, instead of me turning off the refrigerator and turning off the inverter, the power inverter, maybe I can leave the refrigerator on and the inverter while I'm driving. Driving the other truck. If this one's not being used, because the APU is supposed to charge up the batteries anyway. It's supposed to recharge the truck batteries. It keeps the batteries charged. I don't know if it's completely separate. It's supposed to circulate energy charge throughout the whole system. According to what I've heard, because the mechanic said that when the APU not only keeps you from burning fuel and all that stuff, it uses fuel from the truck and it recharges the battery, and also in the truck. It also uses the coolant in the engine's reservoir. It's using the truck coolant as well. So I guess if I can't turn it off, if I don't know how to put it on manual mode instead of automatic, I guess maybe I can take a chance to leave the refrigerator on and the inverter on, like when I pull away from it, and leave it alone sitting here for like a couple of days. I don't know. We'll go in there and open it. I didn't take the logo off yet. I didn't take it off yet. I keep forgetting, but I'll do it anyway. I'll do it in a while. I just gotta get situated. Yeah, it is hot in here. Hell yeah. I'm glad I took some of my stuff out. Yeah, the only thing is the APU ain't blowing no air, so I don't know what's wrong with it. I noticed when I pulled the bunker apart, I found the unit over there, the control box, and I noticed the red switch was completely off. So I asked the mechanic. He said maybe they turned it off because they were working on it or replacing parts or something. But the thing is, there's a lot of stuff I gotta learn about this, man. Go ahead and try to do this. I'll set it back up. All I can say is the way I feel about this truck, I like it a lot. I knew what it was gonna feel like before I even drove it. I said, boy, it's probably gonna break down on me, or maybe it might start shaking and wobbling by the time I drive. No, it didn't do that. It stayed reasonably. I wouldn't say it was loud. It was kind of quiet. It was kind of quiet, all right. Oh, hell. Something went wrong. No, it didn't. Let me double check. I just want to make sure. It was kind of cold this morning, man. I had to, yeah, it's wait for it. I'm gonna knock out the heat out of it first. That's a sleeper. Turn it off. That thing ain't working anymore. This up. This. Oh, that's not good enough. What's the top of my head on this? Gotta pull this aside because the AC in the backbone's not working anyway, so. Cool already. Got stuff some more Freon in there, and what do you call it? Inside of the compressor. Yeah, I'm gonna replace that. This also costs. Well, this is the used one. This is the old one that came with the truck. This one is brand new. This is brand new, and this is like 3 weeks old now, but it's still new. I paid $300 for this. They also said these cost $300 just for back here. So you're looking at $600 total. Hold on. Let's see if I can turn this on. It doesn't work anymore. Yeah, I know. it stopped working. It used to. Like I said, I gotta refresh this truck, man. Stuff going out. Yeah, that's better. So now I'm gonna part this back. Let the AC come from the dashboard and come all the way back here. Check the temperature. Roof ain't so bad. On the other truck on the Kenworth, it gets hot too fast. If you go on the top bunk, even though the roof is a little bit taller than this one, the heat is way more intense. You can feel it like from here almost down to here. You could feel 120 degrees somewhere about right there on the Kenworth. On this one, it gets kind of hot, but not that, like, you know, because the sun is beating on the top of the roof. So, oh, you know the difference? I figured it out. The reason why the roof on the Kenworth is much hotter when you're up on the top bunk, it's because the top of the roof is actually the first layer. That's the final destination of it. You know, the first layer. The roof, then the upholstery, then it goes right through and you feel it real high. This one, this version or this limited edition, whether it could be Kenworth or Volvo, it don't matter. They all had mid roofs and full size conventional. This one is limited. It's not only much closer. That has nothing to do with it. You know that fairing, that windbreaker, that extra thing on top of the roof, you know, the black section along with the truck, is bolted onto the top of the roof. That's what's catching most of the heat. You see, it's like if this was a full roof truck, it would be a mid roof. It wouldn't need that, what do you call it? It wouldn't need that fairing on top of it. I forgot the proper name for it. But that extra fairing on top of it, that's making it look like it's 13 feet tall when the actual height of this truck is probably 11, somewhere between 10 and 11 feet tall, because it's a mid-roof truck. That's what's keeping most of the heat from reaching the ceiling. That's another good reason why I want to buy a truck like this. Even though I don't like the roof being kind of short, you know, being on the top bunk, because when I sit down, when I sit upright and I lean up against the wall, the top of my head be up against here. So I gotta kind of slip my lower back away from the wall and lean my head up right there. And you know, that's when I could get space up there. But to tell you the truth, a mid-roof and that fairing on top of it, that's what's catching most of the sun's heat. So it's like you don't really feel it now. It's like it feels kind of cool. Yeah, it cooled down pretty fast. It's too bad I'm gonna have to leave it on. And last night when I was test driving it, I drove to the pilot and I filled it all the way to the top so I could leave this engine on running. Man, I forgot to check the oil. I was supposed to do that. I was supposed to check the oil. I'm gonna go ahead and use this right here. I'm gonna go back to my other truck and look for I'm gonna get a couple of things. This can go back. This should stay somewhere right here. tell you the truth, I don't mind. Hold up. I don't mind adding more comments, but on the outside, the truck, the engine sounds perfectly normal. But on the inside, it doesn't sound like it don't really sound too much like a modern semi-truck. It sounds more like it sounds like one of them old hand-me-down, what do you call it? Jalopy box trucks. When you accelerate it on the inside, it sounds like something as old as 1960 or 70 for some reason. But yeah, I gotta turn on the inverter for this one. Yeah, because all this stuff up in here would overheat. Well, that's because it's cool outside. You don't really feel it now. So, because I was just driving it anyway. I'm gonna turn the inverter on this one because if the sun starts beating on it, stuff will go to waste up in here. Alright, I'm gonna turn this on. Alright, I'm gonna leave this one running for a while. What else I gotta get? Yeah, the laptop computer. Yeah, I think I better microwave something. I don't want y'all looking at my plate in my grocery yard. I don't have a kitchen sink in here. It's not that dirty, but you know, sure. Like I said, man, I just feel like I don't know, I start using my energy that fast. I don't know. I wanted to finish taking the stuff off. But hey, when he puts air in that tire, I'll go ahead and test drive it. But the thing is, I don't have no insurance right now at the moment. I could go ahead and do it at night. But this one thing that I know for sure, it's true that when I was like, having it tough without a job, like 8 to 10 and 11 years ago, when I used to live outside homeless in my minivan. Every once in a while, when I get cited by a cop and they look at my driver's license and they see me sitting in the vehicle, and then they, like them types that patrol the neighborhood and look for thieves and stuff like that. Yeah, they did that in Fort Lauderdale and Lauderdale Lakes. And when they look at my driver's license, they see it's clean. They don't see an existing record at all. And this was like 2015, 14, 13, And wait a minute. Yeah, that's it. I noticed that they always give me back. They look at the driver's license and then they give it back to me. They don't look at the credentials. Like, they don't ask me for registration. They don't care about insurance. They don't care if the tag is expired. It's just a driver's license they're looking at. If they don't see anything real on there, they don't even care if it's my vehicle or not. My vehicle wasn't even insured and other stuff. I had the registration that matches it, but they don't care if it's uninsured. I don't know if they want to think that way about me now. It's like I just pulled the other insurance off of it, so it's possible. But one thing for sure, if I ever get pulled over tonight, if I was to go back out, I'll definitely remove the logo first, and then if I go out, they'll see a temporary tag on the window. But if they see that there's no insurance and I have a temporary tag and the VIN number matches my address just like the one I have on my driver's license, because I already looked at it. I got a buyer's, a buyer's receipt. It shows that I paid for the temporary tag. It shows the price, everything. It shows my address on the driver's license in Georgia, and it shows the address where I bought the vehicle from. It shows evidence that I paid for it. So the VIN number on this truck has my name on it. But if it doesn't have an insurance, I don't know. It seemed like I've been cited by a lot of cops in different, back in them days when I was homeless outside. Most of them gave me back my driver's license, even though it was suspended and my car was uninsured. I guess, I don't know, maybe they saw the situation I was in. But anyway, I don't think they'll go for it right up here. I don't know. I'm not so keen on trying it right now. I still need to figure out where this truck is at though. I did get a quote from that truck dealership. It's $222 an hour, I think, for for vehicle diagnostic. And they said if they have to go any further, they'll ask me permission first because they don't want to overcharge me. So they said for 2 hours, within 2 hours, $222 an hour, $222 an hour. I don't mind paying the $400, but I'll go ahead and do it. Not right now though. Let me accumulate some more. If I was to leave it over there, I'd have to walk. No, I ain't gonna walk. I'm gonna have to ask one of them. Maybe I'll call an Uber or something. I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. I was supposed to go back to that truck. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. I was going to use this, but I said, nah, forget it. I'm going to pull the logo off instead. Put the spec over it. Yeah, alright. Get that in place. I didn't know that could happen. I better turn that sucker off. I gotta go find out. The APU is on and the engine is on. I better cut it off. I don't know the APU and the engine could work at the same time. Whoa. I guess I forgot to turn it off. I didn't know the APU could stay on with the engine, man. Shit. shoot. On the Kenworth, it don't do that. When you turn the ignition to on position, that's when it cuts the APU off in a couple of seconds. But it don't go that way with this truck. Put it back on. Look at this. Oh yeah, I forgot. It starts up pretty fast. It starts pretty good. It sounds, you got a healthy starter. It turns over pretty healthy. But there's something, the way it accelerates on the inside, the way it sounds, I'm thinking this thing must have, I know there's a leaking exhaust manifold somewhere. It's gotta be, because I got background experience listening to people's cars that have holes in it. Not really holes, but when the exhaust manifold gasket is like worn out or burned out, it's gonna make that, you know, ticking noise. Like when you accelerate it sounds like an old vehicle. That's what, I guess that's what it is too. I bet you if I take this thing to the, you know, what do you call it? If I take this to the service shop and they, let's say if they refresh the gaskets from top to bottom, including the exhaust manifold and all that, by the time I accelerate this truck, it's gonna sound something close to like what it sounds like on the outside. It's not gonna make that ticking noise like it used to. You know, it's not gonna sound like a little old jalopy or something, you know. It's gonna sound something like a Caterpillar engine, or one of those old-fashioned Caterpillar engines. It probably might improve much better if you change the gasket. I really think it did lose some compression as well. It's got an air leak in the system. Alright, hold up. Can't really see it. Gotta put the sunlight on. Yeah, it's like close to max. Yeah, it's burning oil for sure. Because I had it up to full. I mean, that's natural. It's gonna do that because, you know, you might have a leaking valve guide or something inside the cylinder head. So it looked like, I don't know. Hold on a second. No, it's back here. Hold on. I'm gonna show you where the oil spot is at. It's burning oil on one side and it's dripping oil on the other. So that will make it run out of oil a little bit faster. But it did hold up pretty good though. Here it is. Right there and all over there. Even the white Kenworth that I used to drive, the 10-speed manual, that one was leaking oil even worse than that. Yeah, that's the truck I got my paycheck on. I used to get my paycheck on that truck. It leaked oil way much faster than this. You would have to like leave that there for like a couple of weeks. I mean, my truck. You'd have to leave my truck sitting there for a couple of weeks for it to do that. My truck, it leaks oil, but not as heavy as a white Kenworth when it used to do that. All right. I mean, that stuff, I know it's minor. What's not really minor to me is a leaking valve guide. I don't like that. That's gonna cost X amount of money to take the cylinder head off. To take the cylinder head off and replace the valve guides, you know, turn it upside down, knock them out or whatever. And At the same time, it's like the mechanic. He told me that would be like a 20,000. No, not a 20. That would cost close up to $10,000 for labor. $10,000 because it seemed like labor on a semi might be different. It could be like $200 an hour. Just like how they said $220 for two. It would take up to 2 hours to do it. To do a diagnostic test, so it's $220 each hour. So it's pretty much probably the same. $220 an hour. They take the cylinder head off and put it back on. Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. I gotta get that thing over there. Alright, I'm out. Alright, I guess I'll turn it back on. I just checked the oil anyway. Yeah, it's getting hot back here pretty fast, man. I'll go ahead and turn it back on. It seems like everything up here works pretty strong. I don't really notice any hesitation in the starter. But I guess it's alright. Let me try it again. Now it sounds really different. Hold on, maybe it's because I got the door open. Listen to this thing. Yeah. Still sound almost the same. In the near future, you know what I feel like doing? I'm not saying that this engine can't do anything. I just don't like the real old stuff. I'm going to replace that engine with the same brand, the same make, the same manufacturer. I'm gonna replace it with another Cummins, but fresher. It's gonna be hopefully it might be brand new, or I'm gonna go around this one that many times until I refresh just about almost everything, and it would sound just like a brand new engine, whichever one. I don't know. Maybe the easiest way out is to start off small and then work your way big. So it's like let's say if I get lucky with them credit cards and I get lucky doing my own authority. Let's say, the brokers and the rest of them, they see that I'm a reliable driver, which this company already knows about me. They know about me that, but only if, I'm not saying it is, what if I get lucky, if I leave company like this job, instead of going owner operator and just go my own authority, if I go in my own little sneaky direction and start getting lucky, I would say let's say if I have enough money to actually overhaul the entire engine and replace everything on the outside, inside and outside, I would say I'll go for a brand new crankcase and everything combined, just straight up, every inch of it, like start over brand new. That would be like $60,000 right there, close to it, depends on what year engine. You're looking at probably $40,000 for a brand new one, or maybe 50. No, for old, like a 2011 Cummins that came with a Volvo. 2011, it might be 50, probably 40,000. And I even asked the mechanic how much for a 2024 Cummins. He said about 60 or 70,000, somewhere about. I'm talking about brand new, no overhaul, brand new. I'm thinking of doing that because After all these years, I know the ECM computer or the ECU is gonna get tired. There's certain things gonna be fading out. Like if you try to replace an AC unit, whether if it's this or the blower motor, even if you did refresh it when it gets defective, or if you think it got defective, the ECU probably is responsible for controlling that. It's not doing it right. That's probably it. This is not nice. The ECM computer inside of a car, minivan, usually run about $2,000, I think, used or new. A truck, ECU, ECM, let me take not a wild guess. Let me see if I can figure it out. I will say maybe in $20,000 or $30,000, just for a computer that's smaller than the laptop or close to the size of a laptop. Just for a small computerized box. That'll be the brain. That'll be the brain of the truck or the car. Probably 20 to 30 grand. It depends on how I feel. I would say if I made it big, doing my own authority, like let's say if I got lucky so fast, I'm making a couple of $1,000s here, 5 there, 8, 10, then 2, then $500 because I sat around, and then this and that, and then I got lucky with a credit card or the loan or whatever. I would say if I really feel a certain way about this truck, I'll probably say I'll put a new engine in it. I'll put a brand new engine in it. I wouldn't care, everything. I'll refresh the truck all the way around. And if I keep getting lucky, then I'll chase after a brand new Freightliner Cascadia, and then I'll try that. That's only if it falls into place. But right now, I'm in a very, very minuscule situation, and I'm just gonna have to start out small and work my way little by little until I start to reach somewhere big with this truck. All right, I guess I gotta pull away right now. If I got anything else to say, I'll say it.